This should be interesting. Do women really have it harder? Male feminists versus anti-feminists. Clearly y'all know where I stand because you see the shirt. If you've been following the channel long enough, man. But just let me begin with this statement before we dive into this video. Male feminists make me cringe.
Women have it easier than they think they do.
I don't like the way that's phrased.
With feminism, it's kind of brainwashed women to think that they are victims in 99% of cases, and all the disenfranchisement that they would claim in like colleges and careers. A lot of these careers are way easier to get into for women than they are for men because they're looking to hire women because of feminism.
Yeah, like in divorce and stuff, they get more property, the kids' rights, all that.
Yeah.
But more so, I think that from the jump actually have it easier. Like men need to be a provider, they're taught to be tough. Oh, why are you crying? Don't be a girl. But when a girl is crying or a girl is upset or anything that happens, usually they're a princess and they're given the world.
That's toxic masculinity.
Well, yeah, because with women, they're born with their value. They innately have value. They can create life and they're extremely valuable from birth. For men, it's not really the same way. You have to make something of yourself to be respected.
Exactly. Like a pretty woman can go far just using her face. A man can't do that. A man can't go to a rich businessman or like a businesswoman and be like, I'm good looking.
There is pretty privileges in both sexes, but pretty privilege with women blows any pretty privilege men have out the water. It ain't even close.
Come to your yacht.
Right.
A woman can.
Right.
Let's bring the disagreeers forward.
I have a quick question. Just a second ago, you were saying that a pretty woman could go onto a rich man's yacht and that would be kind of her ticket on, right? Okay, so did that help women vote at all, being pretty?
So, I can already see where this is gonna go. He sounds like a woman. He sounds like a raging feminist. Bro. What does having the right to vote have to do with a baddie pretty much being able to do whatever, whenever, however she see fits today? What does one have to do with the other?
But what does that have to do with the...
I'm just asking, because I mean, when we're talking about women's lives being better than they think they are, would you rather be pretty and be able to get on a yacht or have your liberties?
What are we living in?
Terrible,
like 1950
terrible.
or 2022? They already have the right to vote.
for a
The
long
comparison.
I think something you specifically said shows to me why women don't have it easier. I think it was you who said, women already have their value. Their value is already obvious because they can have children. I don't want to put you into blocks, but there are large amounts of men. Women are people that have children and then they raise the child and they be quiet.
And I think
that is a
Not at
problem.
all.
I think what was really evident to me when both of y'all came up and talked was how indoctrinated into the patriarchy you are, right? You both come up and say, as men, we have to prove something. And those expectations that you put on yourself is a direct result of patriarchy and the systems that feminism is trying to dismantle.
Ooh, look at the fucking pot calling the kettle black. Nah, there's no being indoctrinated by the patriarchy. It's being a realist and knowing what you have in front of you and figuring out the best way to navigate through that life. A mentality like that, this male feminist mentality, is so dangerous for men. If you perpetuate that type of perspective, I mean, it's a problem today. That's why men are so fucking soft, because you got men out here saying it's okay to not. It's okay not to achieve. It's okay not to provide. It's okay to not be a man. That's where we are right now, because feminism has made men bitches. If a man does not have the ability to provide, if the man does not have the ability to provide security, if the man does not have the ability to be a man, then you are no good to society, bro. You're no good. You're no good to a woman. You're no good to probably the only person you're good to is probably your mom. You know what I mean? You're no good as a father. You're no good as a mentor. You're no good as nothing. You're just a fucking piece of shit, for lack of better terms, man. That perspective, bro, it makes me itch, but it ain't his fault, because he's the one truly indoctrinated by the effects of the modern day feminism.
The values that women have that when they were born that you're talking about, women did not create those.
Right.
Men did.
Those are God ordained. Men and women.
But Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going.
Women are both equal under God and in value as human beings.
go.
In Genesis, you have a creation of both men and women that are made in God's
We're
image.
not
So
about
we
to
are
quote the
both-
Bible on like some feminist
Hold on,
topic.
but so
I mean, we
Well,
can.
we're operating in a country
we-
where there's a separation of church and
back-
state. You cannot use religion
Okay.
as,
Wait a
as
minute.
a
And the Bible
motivation
also
to
says
make
everybody's not
legislation.
religious.
Back to the prompt, I mean, I don't think that women have it easier than they think they do. And I think to just make blanket statements like women in society think they have it easy or men in society have it harder or whatever you want to say, I just think it's kind of naive. Sure, maybe some women think they have it easier, but that might not be because they're a woman. It might just be because of their own set of life challenges and vice versa.
But I mean, we're speaking in generalizations, though. I don't like the question. Women have it easier than they think they do. Well, I mean, we're generalizing, saying that all women in a vacuum tend to think a certain way today, and most women are definitely deluded by the feminist movement. So I thought I didn't like the way it was worded, but I can rock with it now because we're speaking in generalizations. Are there exceptions to the rule? Of course, man. But there seems to be one trend that is messing women up today, causing them to be lonely, unhappy, childless, successful. But that would be feminism. Other side of things, men have never been more depressed. Men have never been more unmotivated. Never been more unhealthy. Never had more mental health issues than they do today. And it is fair to use that as a generalization that is affecting each sex generally.
Yeah, when you talked about the pressures of being a man and having to provide and having to prove your value as a man, I think those are real challenges that men face. That's why like women have it harder too, because they are also being impacted by how aggressive men feel like they need to be able to secure the role that they have to play in society. But the reality of today...
That's due to feminism, bro. That's due to feminism. If feminism didn't push this agenda, women wouldn't have to be fighting tooth and nail to be the boss bitch. That's due to feminism. That's not due to the patriarchy or men needing to provide. It's always been that way. Men have always needed to provide. Men have always needed to provide. This ain't nothing new.
Is that because of the systems that we're in, the patriarchy is negatively impacting not only women, but also men.
It's like victim mentality. It's like the odd man out, bro. But everybody's not going to be able to eat, bro. It's just this the way it is. The survival of the fittest. Everybody's not going to be happy, bro. And being a man is a dog-eat-dog world. It's much more dog-eat-dog world being a man than it is for a woman. Because a woman can rely on her existence as a woman to minimize the amount of damage that is being done living in a dog-eat-dog world. Men do not have that luxury. You got to go out there and get it. It's always been that way, bro.
Innocent men suffer because of feminism.
In 2022, feminism has changed drastically, and I think it's really turned into demonizing masculinity in men while promoting masculinity in women, and with that, good men are being pushed to the wayside and pushing parts of themselves down and not embracing their own masculinity because society is telling them that it's wrong.
100%. I think like anything that is deemed masculine is seen as now toxic. And I see it all over social media. You can't really say anything or do anything, especially even like against or even for yourself, without it being like some weaponized in some way or shape or form.
Yeah. It's a shame that feminism has become less about actual equality and more about supremacy. It's not about equal rights between men and women. It's about women being superior to men. And women don't even like it anymore, right? I hear conversations with so many girls that are friends of mine. They're like, I hate what feminism has become because it makes me feel as if I'm a victim, and also too that men aren't supposed to be men anymore. It almost absolves us of the responsibilities that we have as males in society to be providers, to be protectors.
Right.
And innocent men suffer because we're made out to be toxic because we're fulfilling our roles as men in this world. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, and I mean, I disagree.
It's difficult for me to understand someone's objection towards that. I don't know how you don't see it. I mean, pretty much feminism is making men women and making women men, AKA directly making men suffer. Men are no longer men out here. They're turning into bitches. I think a definition of feminism is required because I'm sure every man up here has their own definition of what feminism is. And as long as everybody has a different definition, it's going to be a struggle.
A little bit with saying that men have to be providers, but I think, demonizing those men is part of the problem.
Yeah, I would disagree a little bit, but I think also too, though, what we probably would agree on, is that in a society that makes women feel as if they need to be more like men,
Facts.
all you get is really bad versions of men.
Facts.
And when you have men who are increasingly more feminine, you get men who aren't being men at all anymore. And I think like
Facts.
that's a huge societal
You
problem,
preaching.
and we see the ripple effects and the consequences of that every single day.
When I started hearing y'all talk, y'all have a huge misconception of even what feminism is.
Well,
the goal
please
of
explain- yeah,
feminism
explain it
isn't to
to me
demasculate men. The goal of feminism is to fight for social, political, and economic equality for everyone to, regardless
is it
of
equality
your
of
race,
opportunity
gender.
or equality of outcome? Because it used to be equality of opportunity, and that's when I would say I would be a feminist.
But either
now
way-
it's become equality
But-
of
but
outcome.
Hold on,
you
but either way, what y'all are talking about is feelings.
Right.
Nah, but get back to what Buddy was saying. He said it's what did he say?
The goal of feminism is to fight for social, political, and economic equality for everyone to, regardless of
See, that's the old school definition, which ties directly in what the fuck I just said. Like everybody has a different definition of feminism. Feminism to me today is third wave radical feminism, which is the attack on masculinity and women's superiority. Right? When women needed their rights fought for equally back in 19, whatever the case may be, that's an entirely different story than now. And for him to believe that equality needs to be fought for women the way he was describing literally makes no sense, because women can do whatever the hell they want. They've never had this amount of opportunity ever in life, right? Some would argue they have more opportunity now than men. I would. I don't understand where that comes from. Like, what is it that women can't do that men can do that isn't due to biology today?
Equality of
race,
opportunity
gender.
or equality of outcome, because it
Right,
used to
that's
be
Jordan
equality of
Peterson right
opportunity,
there.
and that's when I would say I would be a feminist.
But
But
either
now it's
way-
become equality
But-
of
but
outcome.
Hold
you
on,
guys-
but either way, what y'all are talking about is feelings.
Right.
Y'all talking about, I don't like how women make me feel in society about crying, how women make
Well,
me...
the question
Hold on,
was
hold on,
about
hold on.
Nobody
feelings.
said that.
No, hold
It was
on.
about are men affected?
Hold
That's
on.
feelings.
Yeah, but
So yes, that's the
but
conversation.
feminism itself is not about feeling. It's about, like you said, outcome. It's about the wage gap. It's about having
no wage
access.
gap.
Which doesn't
wage
exist,
gap?
by
What
the
wage
way,
gap?
right? But anyways,
Whoa,
let's
hold on,
not-
hold on,
let's
hold
not-
on,
let's-
wait,
let-
wait,
no,
wait,
no, no,
real
let me-
fast, hold on.
I let you
So,
talk.
no, hold on.
Let me-
No, you
I let
didn't let me talk, though.
I
Hold
did let
on.
you
No,
talk.
you didn't let me
Okay.
talk, though.
See the masculinity right there.
It's about feelings, right? You don't want to talk about how men feel. Let's talk about how women feel. Let's talk about feminists.
Again, it's not
have
about
turned-
feelings, period.
how
That's my
feminists have
point.
turned
It's
on
not
other
about
women,
feeling- it's not about
have
feelings,
turned on
period.
other women.
Wait, can we have the prompt again?
Yeah, let's get back to the prompt because it didn't have feelings.
Exactly.
Feelings.
Right.
It's about
Innocent men suffer because
Oh,
of
what are you
feminism.
talking about?
And
What if you suffer, you're feeling something?
so
Yeah.
can I pose this question?
that
then?
is still about
on a
feelings,
day
isn't
like on a day-by-day basis. Do you think you're negatively affected by feminism?
100%.
Yeah.
120%.
And so
really believe that?
No.
Can you
Because-
explain to me how on a day-by-day
Because
basis
it makes
this
them
affects your
feel,
life negatively?
because again, masculinity has this mythical eligibility of power.
Wait.
When someone, feminist, what have you, challenges that, it feels like oppression to them. So
Yeah.
it feels
It's not-
like something is
it's
being
not
challenged.
challenging.
That's just my perception. Feel free to disagree, but that's what it looks like
I'm not
to me.
oppressed, so I
That's what I'm saying.
challenge that perception. But also, too, to go back to your point about feminism, that may have been true with first wave feminism,
There we
but
go.
with third wave feminism, that is no longer
And
the
I would
case
even argue
anymore.
because
No, I
first wave
disagree.
feminism and third
Guys,
wave
bring it back
feminism.
to the prompt. And then also just, I love the ping-ponging, but just make sure we don't have 5 people talking on top of each other.
All right. There's another side to this too. It's the patriarchy. And so that is what you are talking about. It is the pressure to be strong, the pressure to protect.
But in what
I hate hearing that. I hate hearing that. There is a burden of expectation on a man in society. If you're not capable of doing that, you are useless to everybody. There's no use for you. That's like a socialist type of mentality to have. Everybody eats, no matter the case, no matter what. No matter how much work you put in, no matter how much you sacrifice, no matter how much larger you are, no matter how much stronger than you are, no matter how intelligent you are, everybody must get equal outcome. Fuck that. You get out what you put in, man. So this eyeball out mentality is whack. It's a victim mentality, bro. That's what it is, bro. Any of these things where somebody or some demographic feels like they're the odd man out because they're not able to keep up with who is successful, bro. That's all it is, bro. It's a cop out. It's a whole ass punk ass excuse. And men having that mentality is dangerous, bro, because you are allowing men to just adopt this sense of like mediocrity this sense of complacency, this sense of it's gonna be all right, this sense of I don't need to do anything, bro. Well, no, the world is hard, bro. The world is hard, dog. And if you don't get with it, it's gonna fucking chew you up and spit you out.
Is our society a patriarchy today? I know you said values, so I would want to get clarification on what you define a patriarchy.
So we should define patriarchy as a group, because
He can't
I
even define it.
personally
He
am
can't
still
even
having
define
a hard
it.
time defining it today, because it is
So we're
so
talking
massive.
about something that you
Patriarchy is
can't even
system-led
define.
society.
So, well, I'll try and
hold on.
define. Do you want me to try?
Yeah,
and
let's
define?
do it
In a
together.
broader spectrum, I'd say patriarchal is the societal structure that we have set up that's kind of, what's the word, sociological values of how we set up a hierarchy in our society.
But
And
a
so it's
patriarchy
not
is
a
defined
little.
by, where men are in charge and hold power.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that,
but
I'm not
values.
saying that
Suffering from
it's
the
a literal,
patriarchy,
it's a
then men
literal
suffer
thing where
from-
there's
And
some.
his definition is entirely subjective, bro, because there's plenty of men out here who are totally fine living the way they're living life that isn't the general or sociological standard, right? There's plenty of men thriving in that space. That's a very subjective stance to take. I mean, patriarchy to me is like men rule all. Men rule all. Pretty much, men dictate everything, and we don't live in that space right now. We don't live in that world at all.
Some document that somebody wrote where it said men are in charge, women are second. It is a set of sociological values that you see.
So we're
across
changing the
society.
definition of patriarchy,
Well,
which is
from the-
fine. I just want to make sure we're on the
I'm
same
telling you,
page.
As a
That's
group
what my
now,
definition
yeah.
is. I didn't say there was a set
But that's
definition.
a,
I'm
that's
not
a red
theorist.
herring.
That's
you know,
how I
so
define
are we
it.
saying we're not in a patriarchal society?
No, I don't believe we are today.
Preach.
So going back to the prompt, right? The prompt is innocent men feel attacked
I don't even
by
think it was
feminism.
Suffer.
Suffer from
Yeah,
feminism,
attack
right?
is-
So
yeah.
if you make a mistake, you should be held accountable to that mistake.
Absolutely.
Now with the forms of internet coming out and communication going everywhere, y'all are talking about feeling attacked for being able to say certain things or not.
Not attacked.
If you
I just
are-
think that psychologically,
It
that
does
some
suffer.
innocent men do suffer from
But I
the
would say they
narratives that
also
are pushed.
suffer
There you
if
go.
you're speaking about laws. I think feminism has changed a lot of laws
Like
that
what?
now all are women beneficiaries. So if you look at divorce courts, if you look at family courts, if you look at abortion, if you look at a whole host of laws, all of them
Men have
are
no say.
women primary. Men are heavily
How do you
affected
argue
by
that?
this.
Going back
So
to-
I disagree actually on that. I don't actually agree on the whole loss stuff. But just going back to like the prompt on the suffering thing, I do
You're not
think
gonna give an explanation why. You're just gonna just say it.
that you have to be aware that a man can't just go and say whatever they want,
Right.
where a
Nobody
female
can.
can't.
Should they be
That
honest?
is not
Nobody
true.
can.
A female
that's
can say a
cap.
lot more than a man can,
That's-
especially online, on social media, on the internet.
but a man
There's a
can
lot
also
of rape.
physically do
There's been a
what
rape
they
threat
want
made,
to do in society
and women
too,
said
right?
no one will
that's
judge an eye.
biological.
That's
Cancel
definitely
culture
true.
doesn't come in.
Women get away with saying, women get away with murder, bro. To keep it a buck, dog. They get away with murder, bro.
Back to the prompt. Do innocent men suffer from feminism? I think look at with this entire Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation that happened this past year.
Mic
You have
drop.
all of these feminists rushing to the camp to defend Amber Heard, and then all those things come out during that trial. And people are like, maybe Johnny Depp isn't the horrible guy that we thought he was.
Solely due to the fact that she was a female. That's it. That's it. Gender bias, dog. Women are always the victims. Men are always the aggressors, bro.
Right? So that is an example of feminism radicalizing these people to just be like, I'm
Boom.
going to be anti-male and I'm going to go root against this guy. But to the point
how
of
did
the
that turn
political.
How is Johnny
Wait,
Depp
wait,
a
wait,
victim
guys,
of
we
the
have
system?
like
He had
30
his
we
day in
have 30
court.
seconds left on this prompt, so just finish your thought.
How was Johnny Depp a victim? They had their day in court. It wouldn't have had to go to court, is what he's saying. If feminism wasn't what it was, it wouldn't even gotten that far because people wouldn't have automatically assumed, the system wouldn't have automatically assumed that Johnny Depp was out here doing God knows what to Amber Heard just solely based on the fact that she lied about it. She lied and everybody automatically believed her. When does that ever happen with men? That's the whole point. And him having to go through court to prove his innocence is what we're talking about. Feminism created that. That's why he had to do that, to clear his name. Had to release all the skeletons out of his closet. Had to release all that shit to the world to clear his name because that bitch lied because feminism allowed her to do it.
Kavanaugh. Big example there. You have all these allegations that come up when he's going to be the Supreme Court justice that never came up before.
Right, exactly.
What did that do as far as enable people who have fake accusations to say, I'm going to ride the coattails of the Me Too movement and ruin innocent man's
Really
life?
quick though,
That
where's
is
Brett
wrong.
Kavanaugh right now? He's
That's
on the Supreme Court.
irrelevant.
He's on the Supreme Court.
That's
Thank
crazy.
God,
And
because
then
truth
Johnny
won the
Depp,
day.
was he
Because truth
convicted
won
of
the
a
day.
crime?
Because
you
truth
still
won the
suffer.
day.
But that's the point.
He
So,
won
like,
in
yeah,
spite of
it's not
feminism.
free, it's not
not
There's a
because of it.
pendulum, and for a really long time, people weren't called out for things, people weren't held accountable. So now, yeah, the pendulum pendulum swinging. Maybe there are going to be some false accusations and stuff going too far. I would rather have 1 million false accusations like over 1 million people that deserve to be in jail not being in jail. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather people go through you'd rather have 1 million people that are guilty on the streets than a million people that...
No, it shouldn't be false accusations or any of that, bro. There should be equal treatment, due process for anybody going through something, whether you're a man or a woman. If a man comes out here and cries wolf, false accusation on a woman for SA or grape or something like that, no one's gonna believe him. No one's gonna believe him. But on the other hand, if it happens to a woman, everybody's gonna believe him. Women take advantage of the societal climate and how society's gonna view them when they cry wolf. Doesn't happen for men. Doesn't happen for men.
Are not guilty have to go through a trial.
I would rather have...
reset.
Oh, that girl getting on my nerves, bro. That girl getting on my nerves, dog.